Hi, my name is Michelle Mott, and I am the owner of Inspiring Solutions located in the fabulous Des Moines, Iowa, in the heartland. And today I'm going to share with you a couple tips on how to gain control of your life by gaining control of your attitude. I've written a book called Attitude, The Choice is Yours. And in it, I give 5 practical ways to adjust any stinking thinking you might have. If the kids have you going crazy, if work has you down, maybe it's the financial state of the world might be in, I want to help you today on dealing with something that is very near and dear to all of our hearts, and that is change. If there's one thing that is for certain, change is inevitable. And I have found that it's probably fear that people struggle with so much when faced with change. Maybe you've got a new job. Maybe you've got a new address. You've moved. Maybe you've just gotten married. Maybe you've had children. Maybe there's been a death in the family. So whatever it might be, change is tough. And the reason it's so tough is we are creatures of habit. What I'd like you to do is clasp your hands together, lock them up, and look at the pointer finger that's closest to you and tell me, is this on your left or your right hand? Well, regardless, what I want you to do is unclasp your hands, and you can figure out how to do it. Put the other hand's pointer finger closest to you and tell me, how does that feel? Icky? Awkward? Almost like you gained an extra finger or so? Well, that's because I've just asked you to change. And what this points out to us, it doesn't matter how small or how complex, how small or large it is, it oftentimes doesn't feel right. But if I ask you the next 30 times that you changed, what would eventually occur? Yeah, you get used to it. So the first point that I want to make is change is inevitable, but you got to give it a chance. So the adjustment technique that I describe is called seek comfort with change. Doesn't that sound like an oxymoron? Putting 2 words in the same sentence that don't go together, kind of like jumbo shrimp, pretty ugly, or my recent favorite, Microsoft Works. That's because we do not feel comfortable with change. But in reality, if we are not embracing change, both personally and professionally, it could kill us. For instance, I tell you the story about Charles Schulz. Many of you know he brought us Peanuts, Snoopy in the game. And when he was asked what he was going to do in retirement, he said, I don't know. My whole life was focused on my career. Well, unfortunately, the same week that his last cartoon was published, he died. So what I want you to realize that you personally should be learning new things. Professionally, in your job, as a caregiver, as a mother, as a father, as a brother, sister, learning new skills keeps you fresh, keeps you alert and on your toes. So one of the ways that I oftentimes help people to face their fears is an exercise that I learned from Dale Carnegie. I took a course about how to win friends and influence others. And there were 4 steps that we took. First of all, face the fear. Know what the fear is. In fact, maybe it's losing your job, all right? Second, if that did happen, what would be the worst thing that you would have to do? Well, I guess the worst thing I'd have to do is I'd have to brush up my resume, go knock on some doors, make some phone calls, go out on some websites where jobs were available, and start pounding the pavements. Then the third question is, even if the worst thing happened could you survive? And of course, a new job brings new opportunities, new friendships. So what I want to close with is to help you realize that even though we may not like change, we don't like how we feel in that state of uncertainty, we need change. Even though change is uncomfortable, it too shall pass. So to summarize, fear the worst, prepare for the worst, and realize even if it did happen, most likely you will survive, and recognize that if you seek comfort with change, you're most likely to learn something. Thanks for joining me. Make it a great day for yourself and others.